is create a basket. This will be a wrist basket using the wrist button here. Now, usually what I do before I create any new baskets is I go up to my data folder and I go into my history and the account I'm using, and I delete any old history files. I got the pound sign in front of them so I don't end up getting screwed up when I try to build a new one. A lot of times you could have a lot of these in here. In this case I only got the one, so I'm just going to delete that. And you notice what it says. And it tells me I can't delete it because it's being used. And the reason for that is because I used it before to build a basket. And if you go over here onto my dashboard chart here, where I got the dashboard, and open up indicators, you will see we have a basket create indicator over here, which is using that file. So the first thing I got to do is delete that file, get rid of it. Now I can go back, open up my data folder again, go to history, and now I can delete it because it's not being used. Get rid of that. And we also want to go over to the files folder, and in the file folder you'll find a bunch of text files depending on how many baskets you've created in the past. Get rid of all those so we don't end up getting confused on what we're using. Get rid of those. And one last thing I'm going to do, let's clean up the global variables. Since we're starting a brand new test here, just delete all these. There, okay, now we're ready to start with our basket. Okay, first of all I'm going to go into my properties of my dashboard here, and down into the notes we could just write something if we want. We just call it RSI basket. And I'm going to change my lot size to 0.1 since this is a fairly large demo account. And what I also have to do is go down at this point in time is give my basket a name. I'm just going to call it RSI. And if there's any other setting in here you want to change at this time, you can go ahead and do that. But for now I'm just going to leave them the way they are because I want to trade 24 hours anyway. And here are the RSI settings down here. We're going to leave it at 60 minutes. Leave the period at 4, use the apply to at 0, and we're going to use the 70-30 level lines. And we're only going to look back at the present previously closed candle where it goes into the 70 or 30 zone. So we're done with this. Okay. And you notice here it tells us now what our basket name is, which is going to be RSI. Okay, so let's click on the RSI, and you notice we get quite a few that are oversold. So let's build an oversold basket. Do the Aussie CAD, Aussie Swiss, Aussie Yen, Aussie US, Euro CAD, Euro Swiss, Euro Yen, Pound CAD, Pound Swiss, Pound Japan, Pound US, New Zealand CAD, New Zealand Swiss, New Zealand Yen, New Zealand Dollar, and the US Canadian. Okay, so that's going to be quite a big basket. Now if you want to, I'm not going to, but you can always check some of these with the heat map. And since these are oversold, the heat map, like the Aussie CAD, you notice it has been in a big selling range. As you notice, the most recent, it was pretty strong sell, and the previous bar is showing us that it was a little weaker then, so it's been getting stronger in the sell direction, which kind of corresponds to being oversold. Now we are basically just going to play swing trades here, so we don't really care in this particular time if what direction we're going. We're just going up and down following swing trades on an hourly chart. Okay, so we're all set there, so now all we got to do is click the button to build it, and we're just going to be a 60-minute one. 1 hour, leave this, remember this here, leave the pound sign there, so it puts it at the top of the list. Here we put RSI, remember these match our basket name, click OK. They're supposed to match this name when you build. Be sure you put a name in the properties when you do this. Okay, so now we go up, open up our offline charts, and there it is. It's got 16 pairs in it. It's the RSI, and the 16 means there's 16 pairs, and it's a 1 hour. And you know it's got the pound sign, which brings it up to the top of the list, so we don't have to hunt around for it. Okay, we're going to open that. There it is. I am going to just put a plain template on there. This is my plain template. Hit refresh here to get it over. And remember, we were saying oversold. Well, you can see it's way down in that region. Okay, so now, as you'll notice, I also have my dashboard on the daily time frame, because I'm only going to take one trade a day. I don't want to be hopping in and out. These are daily trades. They're going to be fairly big trades. Okay, so we got the chart built. Now we're going to go over to the chart, and we're going to place our... Now what I'm going to do is put fractals on here, because I like to see where they're at. That way I know where they're at, but it's easier if I mark them than trying to hunt for them, because these are used sometimes. Remember, that's where some of our add to trades and things like that are put on. So it's nice I can look back, and if I see like I will show you here in a minute. Okay, we got the fractals on there. You don't have to put them on there if you don't want to. And we're going to put on our swing basket TS. Now remember, you have to put the name of your basket in here. Otherwise, this TS will not know which pairs you're trading. And we're going to use the opposite swing as an exit. I'm not going to use the fast one. I'll just use the regular one for now. And I'm going to turn on the trailing stop loss, which will give my whole basket some protection. And I'm going to set it at 50%, 0.50. I'm going to use the add to trades. And I'm going to turn on Marty. And we're not going to use the alerts. I'm just going to let her go live. Okay, we're up. There's all our pairs. Now remember, you always should go back over here, open up your indicators, and click OK to refresh that offline chart to make sure it's okay. So now we go back, and we'll hit the expand button here just a little bit. And I'm going to move my thing over here a little bit. Now remember this hourly chart, so this is 1 day between here. And you can see the reason I'm just taking one trade a day, because usually you only get one trade in a day. Here's a possible trade that we missed earlier in the day. And like I was saying, the reason I put the fractals on there is just so I can look back. Like say you took a long trade over here. Remember, it takes 3 closed candles. You would have got in right here. And it's up to you where you want to get out. But just say we got out up, we maxed out, which you never will. That is a lot of pips. 1,271 pips up to there. But remember, you're trading the number of pairs you're trading. Now, the reason I put the fractals on here is because now I can look back, and if I'm using the add-on trades, this would have been an add-on. Right here, it would have added on. And this would have been another add-on. So there would have been 2 add-ons, and I'm using Marty. So this first add-on would have been 0.1 lot because that's what my basic lot size is. The second one would have been a 0.2 lot. So look at the pips in this trade. I mean, here's one trade here with a 0.2 lot. There's 2,000. You go down to here, you got another 1,100. And then in the original trade, which took off right here, you got 1,275. So look at the amount of pippage just in that day. Same way over here. If you would have got in, here would have been your entry. And this would have been an add-on. There's your fractal. It would have been right over here, would have been an add-on. And you could have got another add-on over here, so you got 2 add-ons. And just depending on where you got out, if you got in there, there's your 3 candles. I mean, way down there you're talking 1,245 pips just on the one trade. And then you got another one here, add-on. You got another add-on here. So it really helps out with the add-ons if you use them. But then you should be following your trades. You just don't turn it on and let it go by itself. You have the opportunity to add stop loss lines and take profit lines as it goes along. So we'll let this run now and we'll see what happens. We got a low here, but we don't know if that's going to be the low yet. It could keep going down. It's going to take 3 closed candles, and these next 2 that would close will have to be higher up. They won't be able to go as low. Remember, these are fractals. It'd have to look like it does on this side here. So you're going to have 2 more closed ones up here, and then if it does that, then you'll get in over here. And it will take a long trade. And at the present time, if you got in, say you got in over here long, at the present time your first add-on is way up here, because there's your fractal, there's your first add-on. But as this thing starts going up, you get the thing like this over here, you get these pullbacks, which give you more add-ons. So this one probably will never be used because as your trade goes up and you get pullbacks, this fractal line for add-ons will move over here. So you can get some of these trades. I don't know how, let's see if there's anyone any longer on here or not. Nah, it's not the greatest thing. This would have been a fairly long one here, look at that one. But then it depends on your exit points and things like that. So when you're trading this many pairs, it adds up quite fast as far as the pips go. Okay, so that's the risk, how to build the risk. And then you gotta be sure to go back over here, of course, and turn on the TS and turn on the trading session. Like I say, these should be traded 24 hours a day. I usually try to start an hour or so after the new day starts, and then I usually start winding it down for the day if it looks good, maybe about 4 or 5 hours before the next new day starts, because it gets pretty quiet. So, and like I say, you can look at these and see if it makes sense according to the heat map, and give you a little bit of additional. If it don't look good over here, you can just turn the button off. Don't use that one. But in this case, we're just using whatever we picked down here. And in this case, this would have been a overbought. But there's only 3 of them, so usually I don't make a basket that small. I like to stick 4 or 5 or above at least. And looking at this thing right now, it looks like the whole market is down. And one thing with this, building a basket, you can look at the whole market if you want. You can turn on all 28 pairs. Just turn on the 28 button and build a 28 pair basket if you wanted to. It will build up to 28 pairs in a basket. Okay, so that about wraps that up with the building of an RSI basket. And remember, you always have the options back here to where you can use the stop loss, and will protect some of your pairs in case you get a pair that goes crazy on you, goes the wrong way. You can have a stop loss on here, or you can use a basket, take profit. You can trade it over here like a basket. Depends on, there's a million different ways you can trade it. I'm not going to get into all of them. It's up to your imagination. And the same way over here, when it starts going down, you're going to have a basket. Remember, if you've looked at the other videos, you will have a basket. Stop loss, that'll trail. And if you want to put your own stop loss line on there, you can do that. And remember, you can also make this stop loss line trail if you want to. So there's all kinds of things you can do. Okay, so that about wraps it up for that. And next time we'll do another basket on a different kind of selection.